Hiyuki is releasing tonight in version 3.3 of Withering Waves, and I thought I wanted to try to get a build guide out pre-release, just giving you some quick hitting facts, and then hopefully get you guys prepared for this awesome new character that's about to drop. So welcome to Withering Waifus. I'm your host Al Man. Thank you for joining me. Please make sure and check out our live stream tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun doing the giveaway. All right. Okay, this is just going to be a quick hitting little guide. And then once she comes out, I will do a full build guide with demos and rotations and all the stuff that I normally do. But I wanted to get something out there. And I had meant to do it earlier, but I'm just drowning in gacha and work and family and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I do what I can. So okay, anyway, so we are going to just do a quick hitting little build guide right now, and then we'll get into the full scope of Hiyuki with demos, rotations, all that stuff in the next 24 to 36 hours after she releases, like I normally do. Anyways, check out my Twitch also. I stream over there on Twitch, and make sure you drop by our live stream tonight, Wednesday, April 29th at 11 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be auctioning off a limited character in who knows, maybe Withering Waves, maybe Genshin Impact, maybe NTE, we don't know yet, but that'll be at 11 p.m. tonight. Should be a lot of fun. So anyways, yeah, we do fun stuff like giveaways on this channel. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel, helping me grow, build, all that fun stuff. So let's talk about Hiyuki. Okay. So obviously the first Glacio DPS that we've had since Carlotta over a year ago. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a big character. Probably was teased even longer ago than Imeth. You know, like Imeth was sort of teased, and then bam, she was out, and there was a lot of hype. But like with this character, I think they were more successful in slowly dripping her, and people have just been waiting for a new Glacio DPS, or just even a new Glacio character. Period. You know, we just don't get many of them. We are, of course, getting the new mechanic, Glacio Chafe. I don't really like the sound of that, but it sounds uncomfortable. I'm sure it is. I don't know if that's when she sticks her sword in your nether region or what's going on there. But anyway, Glacio Chafe. And anyway, this is considered a negative status. So do keep that in mind when you're building your teams. We can cover that in a second. She's going to be a Resonance Liberation focused. Her kit is focused around Resonance Liberation. So she's actually quite easy to build. It looks like it's going to be just your standard DPS build. So even though we do have a new negative status incoming with this unit, and is Resonance Liberation focused, she's basically, you'll build her like you build any other DPS, regardless of what their kit looks like. And actually kind of flexible at the moment. We'll see when she releases how good some of these team comps actually are. But the full potential is likely going to be locked behind future updates, as Chisa obviously is going to be best in slot right now, but it looks like Chisa is going to sort of get soft power crept again, just like what's happening with Denia and the Imeth team situation. So anyways, Chisa is going to be just fine. And if you don't have Chisa, I'll talk about this in a second. I have that coming up in the video, so we'll talk about it in a second. Her sig weapon, Frostburn, is gonna be just kind of your standard 587 attack, 24.3% crit rate, and attack increased by 12% when the wielder applies Glacio Chafe. Glacio damage is amped by 28%, and Resonance Liberation damage ignores 10% of the target's defense. If the wielder is the active resonator in the team, Glacio Chafe damage dealt to all targets within a certain range is amped by 20% for 6 seconds. This effect can be triggered once every 0.1 second. Only the strongest effect of the same name applies. So basically, it's just amping her main damage source, the Glacio Chafe, by a fuck ton. So yeah, it's definitely going to be her best in slot. However, one of the main things to note about her is that I think kind of this is a little different than our last new resonator, Sigrika, who really needed like her full premium team plus her weapon. I do think you can get away with Hiyuki. I think you can get away with either having her premium team or her weapon. And if you have one or the other, you're probably going to be okay. And again, keeping in mind that she's probably not going to be a tier 0 character until she gets that final piece of her puzzle. Keep in mind, this is a new reaction. And if you remember, Imeth had the benefit of having 2 resonance modes. So she, even though Fusion Burst was new and she was the only DPS that could interact with it, she still could do the Toon Rupture stuff. And she already had a full team built for that. So this is going to flesh out over time. For her Echo situation, it's pretty much a done deal. You're going to use the Wishes of Quiet Snowfall. Never any reason to go anywhere else with that. Just do it. Just get it and get it done, right? We're going to do Glacio damage with the 2-piece. With the 5-piece, it's going to be a bunch of good shit. Inflicting Glacio Chafe is going to increase the damage bonus of Glacio damage bonus, and give the Snowfall effect, dealing Resonance Liberation damage, removes Snowfall and increases crit rate. Casting Outro skill removes Snowfall and grants Glacio damage bonus to the incoming Resonator. When Snowfall is removed, only one of the effects above is triggered. It's going to be 4-3-3-1-1 like the usual build. For cost, I'd probably go crit damage here because you're getting crit rate from the weapon, unless you are using Emerald of Genesis, which would be the second option. Emerald of Genesis also is a crit rate weapon. So both of them are you're probably just going to want to do crit damage and just really, really focus on additional crit rate as the priority in your substats. That's how I would do it, but you can do the opposite and do crit rate here and not have to worry about getting perfect substats if you have crit rate in your forecast. Glacio damage or attack percent in your 3 cost. I think Glacio damage is going to be more effective, but again, we won't know until she releases. And then the stat priority, very similar to Imeth, right? Crit rate and crit damage. ER obviously very important when you have a Resonance Liberation as one of the main functions of her kit, sources of damage. You want to make sure that's up all the time. And then then Resonance Liberation damage bonus, attack percentage, and flat attack. For teams, these are not like in any type of order, although it does look to be that it looks like to me this is going to be probably the top team, Hiyuki, Lene, and Chisa. But you can sort of mix and match a lot of these. You know, if you have Mornier's S1, she's basically as flexible as the rest of them. Chisa's probably going to be the character that is the most important to have right now. But if you have Lene and Mournier, it's a, you know, what calcs we have are clocking it right behind Lene and Chisa. So, or Mournier and Chisa, you know, that's also an option. Because Chisa is, you know, still kind of fits in this subcategory. The free-to-play team would be Jianshin and Verena. It remains to be seen how that will do, but again, best team not quite here yet. So we'll have to see what that looks like. In a couple patches, I suspect that this list will be quite different. But and Chisa may not even be on it, which is really sad. But for now, Chisa gets her moment in the sun once again. Our talent priority is going to be definitely focus on Liberation and Forte Circuit as the top two that you're going to get to level 10. Basic Attack, definitely also worth getting to level 10 as soon as possible. Resonance Skill, probably you could get to 8 or 9. Intro Skill, good to get to 6 and leave it there. Poor intro skill. You know, when was the last Resonator we had that had a intro skill as an important piece to focus on? There just hasn't been. What, Lupa? Was Lupa the last one? Maybe. That's crazy. Okay, for vertical investment, I mean, here's what we got. And I think wait and see is always a good approach. Don't ask me about that, but for you, it's probably a good approach. I'm a jackass, but S1 is going to increase the damage multipliers of basically her basic attack sequences, heavy attack, midair, and plunging. And similar to Imeth, it's going to pull the heavy attack is going to pull the targets in. So it's going to be very, very solid for crowd control. And again, it's a great way to build up the gauge when you're performing her combo to build up her forte gauge. And so it's a pretty solid S1. It is still more of a stepping stone to the S2, which is going to be like the bread and butter. That's where you want to stop. No reason to go beyond the S2 is what it's looking like. It's going to basically increase the damage multiplier for the main function of her kit, the IA's whatever, by 125%. And then it's going to return some points of this Snowforged Blade when out of combat for 4 seconds, and then also restore an additional 50 points of Frostheart for the next 2 casts of Frostblight Jadecleave or Frostblight Pedalfault. So it's a very good S2. It's probably what it's gonna do is make her feel like one of the better DPS on your account, even though you don't have her full team released yet. So if you really, really like this character and you want her to be competitive with the likes of Imeth and Sigrika and Cartithia and Luke and all them, then maybe get her S2 if you have the ability to. So in summary, we're asking, how good will Hiyuki be? And I think the answer is she's quite good right now, and we'll kind of have to wait and see. With these new reactions, you just kind of never know, right? Like we got, not that the echo skill, not that the echo skill damage situation was necessarily a new reaction, but it was sort of a new type of character profile that came out. Basically Frolova was the one that really made headline news with that, right? And then you had 2 characters released in the same patch in 2.7, Galbrena and Chuan, that really sort of carried it home. And still it took, I think it really took until quite recently for that damage type to become like to break out of its niche, right? So it's hard to answer this question. How good will she be? We'll have to it's certainly hard to answer it when she's not released yet. So I wanted to get this video out at least a few hours before the patch drops, and then I will have a post-release video, and we'll see what we're working with, and I'll get you guys some demos and all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Do please remember to come join us on our live stream tonight. It'll be at 11 p.m. I'll probably be on before that, but 11 is when the giveaway winner will be announced. So be sure to come and check that out. And we're going to do another giveaway after that, I think. It's been a lot of fun, and it's been a great way to interact with everybody and get to know people. So thank you guys so much. Y'all have a good day.